Hey everyone, welcome to Nerd Talk. I'm Mike.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're doing another episode review of Bad Batch. We're on episode 13, Infested, I believe is the official name for it.
Yep.
And if you're new to the channel, don't worry, we're not going to jump into spoilers right off the bat. We're going to go into just what we thought of the show quickly over a quick overview, and then we'll jump into the spoiler-heavy moments of this particular episode. And with that, Chris, why don't you start us off? What did you think of episode 13?
This one was okay in my books. For so late in the series, I didn't think there would be, I don't know, not quite a filler, but this one was like you could go without this episode and it wouldn't make a difference in the series. So in my opinion, it is kind of a filler. I mean, it was a good episode overall, but nothing that had to do with the story. And I thought that there was going to be like more action, especially at the coming to the tail end of the series. Trying to close up all the holes that they still have unanswered. So this one was okay for me, but I just maybe was expecting more. And maybe if this episode was earlier in the season, it would be better in my opinion. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I completely agree. Definitely filler episode. I think the only purpose of this was to, again, Omega kind of showing that like it's not just about money or whatever. It's about like, she helped us out. We need to help them out. Yeah, we need to do what's right. And then I think the other thing was just to show maybe the Pike, like maybe that alien species or whatever that pirate guy was working with. I assume I don't know. I mean, without getting into spoilers, I think it was good episode. It definitely not one of the better ones of the season, but it was had some fun moments. I think is the best I can say.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's jump right in. So Infested was basically the Bad Batch come back from their mission on Ryloth, and they see that there's a lot of activity happening around the planet and around the bar. So as they head in, and they're kind of like, I guess, looking for Sid, they see that there's, I guess as they approach Sid's office, some guards stand up and try to block them and they kind of fight their way in. And so there's a new guy in town, and they ask him, where's Sid? And he says, oh, the word he used, that she's left, or she
exited, or she's no longer here or something like that, or she gave up her thing.
And so he goes, but I may have use for you, and they're kind of like, no thanks, like we're good. And so they leave. And so Tech basically says, it could mean two things: either she's dead or she was forced to leave. And so then from behind them, Sid shuts out and she goes, come meet me in the ship or whatever, and they kind of have a powwow.
Well, because Hunter's originally saying, oh, we got to get off this planet, and then Omega's like, well, we got to help Sid, she was always there for us, so we got to be there for her. And then she pops up saying, at least one of you cares about me, kind of thing, and sticks up for me.
That's right. So
she likes Tiny.
Yeah, Tiny. It's just funny. So they have a conversation with her. This guy's basically smuggling spice, and this is like the center of all the trade routes and stuff like that. So it's a perfect spot for him to set up shop. So he basically forced her out. And
he's a son of like another kind of higher end family, so he's trying to make a name for himself.
That's right. In the smugglers and whatnot. So,
like
a crime syndicate, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And so she says that he's working with the Pikes, she goes, if we can get rid of his spice, then the people who are coming for it will get rid of him. And so they come up with a plan to kind of get into her office. She says there's a way through some like back alley route or whatever. So
only she knows about. Yeah,
that's right. So they head towards it. They eventually come across the door. She talks about them like not making any noise. It's infested. These bug creatures. They don't specify what it is. So I'm thinking, okay, it's Geonosians or something, right?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and so they get in. They're manually cranking it because they don't want to get the engine going on. They don't want to make noise. They have to stealthily get across. And they make their way across. I can't remember. They drop the flashlight down, if I remember correctly.
A flashlight, yeah. Wrecker drops a flashlight.
Yeah, and we hear some noise. And we see some flutterings of wings and stuff like that. So I thought it was Geonosians, but I think it's a different type of bug creature, like a moth.
Yeah, they say what it is later on, but I don't remember the exact name anymore. But it's definitely like a smaller moth kind of beetle bug kind of like that kind of thing.
So they make their way across this chasm and get to the office. Before they get in, they need to make sure that he's on the office. So she signals to the two cronies are always at her establishment, and they kind of decide to find a way to steal his pet, who was, I guess, there with Sid initially, but he kind of took it over. And so they lead a trail of food. The pet goes outside, they capture it, and so he tells his guards to go after them, and they all go on the search. So because they're away from the office, he gives them the signal that they can get in. They go in, they start stealing the spice crates, and it seems like it's just in the nick of time, because by the time that the pirate guy, I can't remember his name, finds the pet, right? Because I think it breaks out of the crate or something.
Yeah,
they drop
it
or
bites
something.
one of the guy's fingers, and he drops it, and it breaks out, and they bail and run.
Yeah, and so the guy says, like, go get those guys, bring them back to me, and so he gets the pet. So they go back into the office, and then when he goes in,
Echo says that he's going to lock the door and try and
give him more time. So they get the spice out. The guy gets in and sees that the spice is gone, and realizes it's Sid, and so they're trying to find a way to. So they find the secret entrance. He sends some guys after her, and as they're kind of manually cranking the way back, they turn on the engines and hit hot pursuit.
Yeah.
All the noise and commotion causes all the bugs to wake up and attack, which causes the Bad Batch essentially to drop the spice down the chute, to lose the spice. Correct. from the ruckus. So they make it out alive, and literally get out the door and close it just in time as the bugs are like trying to get at them. And so they're like, okay, well, we got out, like we're good. And so the alien species arrives for their spice. Obviously, the guy doesn't have them. Says, he was double crossed. He needs more time to pay them back. They don't like that, and so as the Bad Batch kind of approach the bar, they see like everyone's wiped out, everyone's dead.
Yeah.
And these are like some ruthless alien species that you don't want to mess with them. So as she's all happy she got the bar back, and then out of the office comes the main guy and these aliens, and he says, those are the guys who stole the spice from me. So they
just needed to wait a little bit longer before walking back.
Just a little bit longer. So the alien says, like, if they say we don't have any spice, it goes, well, if you have the spice, you know where it is. So you go get the spice, and the girl stays here with me. The girl
stays.
Yeah. Motioning to Omega. So they have no choice. They have to go back. So they come up with a plan where Wrecker and her are basically going to go down, kind of zip line down into the area, get the crates, and slowly bring them back up. So they go and do this. It's down to.
It's nice to see Sid kind of step up and really have that relationship with Omega and Bond, where she's like, "Well, I got her into this mess. I'm gonna help get her out." So she volunteers to go down.
Yeah, and it's on the last couple crates. On the last two crates as they're going up, that I guess it's getting a different. They bang into something and it causes a lot of commotion, and of course the bugs are coming up. Yeah, and so they come attacking, and so Tech has been working on this device. He realizes that they're very sensitive to light, so he throws this bomb in, and it just explodes this super brilliant light, which causes all the bugs to like scatter and try to get out of there, which saves Wrecker and Sid's life. They get the spice. They manage to get back to give the spice to the pirate guy. He says, you got the spice back, so we're good. But he wants to take more from
not with the sun.
This guy. And so he basically cuts off his horn as like punishment or whatever.
Yeah.
And so,
but Omega steps up before, because they think that they're gonna kill him essentially because of the bad deal. And even Sid steps up saying, "Yeah, just knock it off as a bad deal and be done with it," kind of thing. But they say that they need to show something for it, and then they end up swooping down with a sword or whatever and taking off one of his horns, which is better than his head, obviously.
Absolutely. And he says it's a small price to pay, for having my life and whatnot. So they get the bar back. The pirate, the evil alien species, whatever, they get the spice. They leave. He's there, and if I remember correctly, that's how it ends. They don't leave the planet, right? Bad Batch, it ends with them still there, right? Like that's
correct. And the young pirate says, "I'm going to leave now," and starts to head back to pack up his stuff, I guess. Because he's all by himself and time to go back home. Yeah.
So I mean, that was pretty much the episode. A small little thing. Yeah. Again, maybe it's because they needed. Again, they have maybe a 3-episode arc to finish off the season. And they wanted to have something else in there. I hope so too. They've got to come to terms with Crosshair. There has to be a final get together situation.
And like, what's the final thing with Omega? Do we find out what her actual abilities are, or like what why she's so important, or
does she get through to him? Is she the one that gets through to him and helps Crosshair come back? We'll have to wait and see. But I mean, that was the episode as a whole, and like you said, there wasn't like anything glaring that was like, oh, this is amazing, or these are these huge callbacks or whatever.
There's no Easter eggs.
No,
like the Genosians weren't there, so there's no throwback to that. And really, it's just an episode with the Bad Batch in it and some action, and that's pretty much it, to be honest with you.
It was a fun, good time, but I'm more excited about what's to come, and I guess every season there always has to be that 1 or 2 filler episodes, I guess, right?
I just think if they did it before this last 3 arc on Ryloth, that it
Yes.
might have been a little bit better to
Mm-hmm.
do that and then do this 3 arc. Just maybe the placement of it is just a little off because they came back from, because it was a different mission that they came back from, because they're like, Sid didn't tell us about this piece of information when they got landed back, and so it wasn't Ryloth or anything. Ryloth. So it could have literally been before, and then they come back. I don't know how the next episode will start, but I'm sure they could have done some sort of con mix in, or just random. They come back from another mission after Ryloth and start this other thing. But we'll see next week what pattern they go. Like this has to be a three story arc.
Yeah, they're not going to go with
it.
a 2-story arc and then have a single episode. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like it wouldn't make sense.
So I think they'll do it just like they ended Clone Wars with like a movie set piece. I think that's what they're going to do for most of these seasons, to kind of have this really awesome ending to each season. So I'm looking forward to it and kind of see where we go from here. Yeah, are we going to see more bounty hunters show up? Cad Bane going to come back? Crosshair's obviously looking for them. Is he going to join forces with the bounty hunter in order to like get them? We're going to have to wait and see kind of how that pans out. And are they going to circle back to Camino? Are they going to come back and face the guy who sent the bounty hunters after them initially, right? Like, it's interesting to see how they are going to wrap it up. But I know with Hauser and some of the clones deciding not to join, I wonder if that news is going to get back, and maybe they're going to try to get on Camino and try to liberate all the clones. We're going to have to wait and see what they come up with. But I think that there's definitely going to be at least one more showing up of that Camino that's on their side, not Tonway but the other one. And I think that we're going to see obviously Crosshair come up and have a confrontation. So we'll have to see how that wraps up in the next 3 episodes. But yeah,
no, definitely, I agree 100%. And I'm intrigued and not sure if they're going to do another bounty hunter, if they're going to be involved, but I'd be okay with that. If they do that route, I hope Boba Fett shows up somehow as a teenager or whatever it may be. But if not, definitely Crosshair, and I would love to see some sort of rebellion on Camino and that storyline become canon, just because I think it would be so awesome and just really solidify what happened from the clones and turning it all into humans as stormtroopers. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm intrigued for those stories, man.
Well, there you have it, folks. Those are our thoughts on episode 13 Infested. Let us know what you think. Shoot us a comment below, like the video, click subscribe to the channel. And as always, folks, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.